Hello and welcome back to this episode. Today I'm just back around putting the new muffler in to the Sentra. Already taken out the other one. There wasn't much to take out. Our old one snapped just in here, just rusted out, and just left this mounting plate there, which I had to cut off. Underneath here, I don't know, probably can't see, and it's a bit dark under there, but yeah, we had to get under there. That's why this is all wedged. I wedged it down and then pulled it back with the tie down there just to get it back so I could get a cutting grinder in there. Wasn't the nicest thing to do. But I managed to clean it up, get all that off. I've still got to clean up a bit of the old gasket seal. It's a circular one. I just reordered that through Nissan right now, so I'm just waiting for that to come in this week. So I've just got a little bit of takeoff on this side still. I went ahead and painted this one with some heat resistant paint that's lying around. Mainly in here and up anything on top. If you live in that northern part of North America, you'll know you either have salt on the road in winter or calcite. So on the old one, the top, the calcite had come up and set up on top and just eventually rusted it. I mean, not bad for over 10 years old. It's lasted quite a long time, so if this just helps it last same amount of time, it should be good. We got this guy off eBay. I'll have to check out what the cost of that was. It was cheaper to get off down in the States off eBay. Made in China, fairly cheap. The other thing there was it's like an earth strap or something like that. That nut broke off as well, so I just got myself another 10mm nut for there. Got the nuts and that. They don't send it with the exhaust. They don't send in the nuts or bolts with the exhaust. But they are like $8 for the two, so $4 a piece Canadian, which isn't bad these days. And why I put grease on there, because these old ones had a lot of rust. I got a lot of the rust out of the inside of the rubber, but just put some grease in there to kind of prevent it for a little bit from rusting up too fast. And it's a little easier to get on there. I'm sure it'll all disappear off there eventually, so it won't matter. Fairly easy to get out. I've jacked this up. To get it to the height you end up, even if you jack it on this side, you end up the other side of the car just lifts up as well. So I'll put a 4x4 under that one, and then 4x6s, two 4x6s under the side. That kind of gives you enough room. You can just kind of let the jack down so it just touches that, so there won't be any chance of it slipping off. I say it was pretty easy to take off. It's kind of the old rubber mounts there. It's just the rust on the old one kind of popping it off. You either got to get a screwdriver in there or just kind of really refine it a bit to get them to pop out. But no, fairly easy thing to take out. Like I say, it was already broken at the other end, so that was no problem. But yeah, once I get this other gasket ring in, and then I can finish off the install, which should come today or tomorrow. So hopefully today we can carry on, get this back in, and get the old grill back on the road. Okay, we got our gasket here, came in today. There is the part number, if you want to know. So this is, yeah, the rear one. Goes in there, sits in. So you got to dig out the old one. It's kind of pushed in there pretty good, so you got to kind of dig it out with a screwdriver and whatever you can. It's a bit of a shitty place to get it, but try and get everything out you can. so the new one can sit in there. Doesn't appear to have any, both sides are the same. That will just sit inside really nicely. Yep. Don't know if I can put that over for you and show you. It will sit kind of as a seat in there. Yep, sit in there and stop any of the gases, exhaust leaking out there. Give it a nice tight seal. Yeah, so I'll set this up. Don't know whether to use thread lock on these or not. If the heat's gonna, I might put some red thread locker on there. Same with that little earth nut bolt at the back. Can't do any harm to do it. Yeah, I don't know how those lock in there. I don't think there were any washers on the other one when I took that off. Unless I can find some spring washers, I'll check on there. Might do that instead. I don't think, because this will heat up, and I don't think the thread lock will work any good on that. So I might just use some spring washers, chuck in there, and be done with it. I say I'll check a little bit of grease on those other prongs there for the rubbers to just slip on. Just make it a little easier. Over time that grease will disappear anyway. But yeah, just make it a little easier to get on. Not too much. I think I put a little too much on these ones here, but just put a little bit. I'm just using white lithium. It tends to stick a bit better. Yeah, white lithium. Yeah, don't need as much as I put on that one. Just put a little bit. I put a little bit on the other two just to get it on there and just kind of protect it from the rust a bit. So yeah, then we've got all the parts. So let's put it back together. Okay, I just forgot to mention that, yeah, the gasket is $34.11 Canadian. Which isn't actually bad from the actual dealership, so I think online I was finding them at $47 and so on, so that actually worked out a lot better than I thought. Okay, so this is the mount we'll put on first. Put the rubber grommet over, let it hang, then I think I'll get the holes lined up into the rest of the exhaust there, put the nuts on, washers and nuts, and then see if I can get these ones on. If I can't, I'll just undo the nuts, put them on, and see if we can line up there. We'll see how we go. One thing I did, I see that the aluminum here was corroding and the washers here had gone through, so it's just kind of hanging loose. So I just replaced those two washers with bigger ones, make it last a little longer. There. Something to look at. We're under here. Okay, ended up getting on all the mounts. Seems like got a bit of movement down there that I should be able to get it, the nuts, the bolts through and get it tightened up. So yeah, these slide on like so much easier. Just a little bit of grease, like so, disappear over time. That's the other one. This is your ground. Remember to put that back in there. So remember to take all the plastic off the tip there. There's a bit of plastic protecting the chrome part there. So yeah, we'll just tighten up, get these nuts through and tighten it up to the other part of the exhaust. Get that gasket in as well and should be done. Okay, so the gasket sits over a bit of a flange on the front part of the exhaust. The back one kind of has the indentation to sit over it, but that's how it should fit over top. So we'll just get these slots where you do have a bit of movement. Just set those bolts through here, so I'll get those through, pretty much get it tightened up, and that's it. Okay, so that's it, cinched up to the old one. Pretty much just do it firm. I would recheck the nuts after you've had it running. Once it heats up and everything, just double check them, make sure they're all good and tight still. But no, fairly simple doing the back part and that. Yeah, just make sure you jack it up, block it up as well, make sure you're safe, and yeah, I think that's good. Fairly easy to do if you need to do it. I think I paid about it was like $143 for this exhaust, American, so it came under just under $200 Canadian there. So yeah, not too bad. You do it yourself, save the labor. But I think we're done with that one. So give us a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe, see more, and we'll catch you later.